Hi guys, so we've just updated Gran Turismo Sport to version 1.15. We thought we'd showcase some of the new content from the major March update, which has gone live today. So we're here at Tsukuba, which is the new track for the March updates, and of course we are driving the R33 Skyline GTR. So early impressions on this track. I mean, it's looking pretty decent, isn't it? Good trackside detail, nice lighting effects of course, with GT Sport. This is in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, it's got lots of detail there, crowds to the side of the track, fencing. It's all very well detailed, isn't it? It's running pretty smooth so far, so I've got to say I'm impressed thus far. Although I have to say this Skyline R33 is a bit of a handful. Got no traction control, in fact no assists altogether, and it is squirming around a lot on these tyres. They are sports hard tyres, but even so it's still pretty slippery. I think this is going to be a favourite for drifters. But we are taking part in a race here. 20 competitors and 4 laps of Tsukuba. Very short circuit, of course, Tsukuba. I figured it was a good idea to showcase a Japanese car on the track, on a Japanese track. But I must admit, initially I was going to buy the BMW M3, which really caught my eye of the cars in this update. But sadly, I didn't have enough money. It was £200,000, so I thought no, okay. So we had to sort of settle for this bargain Skyline, but it is a good fit for Tsukuba track, of course. So yeah, track's looking decent. The car is feeling pretty decent as well. A bit tail happy, but hey, it's all good fun. Whoa! And you've really got to keep this car in the power band because it does lag. You do feel that turbo lag if you're out of the power, so you really do have to match the revs with your speed. You can see that Countach in front there. Look how low that car is. I mean, it's every bit as low as that Crossbow ahead. Fantastic cars in this race. In fact, you can see the Ferrari ahead and the Ford big monster car ahead of that. So that's what I do like about Gran Turismo. You have these races where you have cars that you wouldn't normally see racing together. That's what makes Gran Turismo magical for me. So it's lovely to see that Polyphony are adding more and more road cars, which makes for more sort of eclectic racing action, which is what we like to see in GT. Now there are issues with the 1.15 updates, which Polyphony are fully aware of, and they're working on currently actually. So there's some sort of tyre squeal bugs, audio bugs, and the T500 doesn't actually work at all as far as I can see. So it's a pretty major bug there, but hopefully they can get onto that pretty quick, because those with T500s just simply cannot play the game, which is really terrible. So hopefully, yeah, that'll be patched out, or patched in, I should say, the support for T500 pretty damn soon, hopefully. Yeah, so this is a real handful, this Skyline. I've got to say, I'm having fun, but I'm not sure I'm going very fast. That's the problem. See the full GT40 ahead, looking absolutely stunning. And it's good to see more classic cars, isn't it? Both sort of classic and modern classic cars in GT Sport, because it is lacking in some areas regarding the car list. So yeah, it's nice to see the support for GT Sport. It really is evolving the game. It really is taking on new form. It's just a shame we didn't get this at launch, really, isn't it? It seems to be making up for its lack of content at launch. But we always expected GT Sport to be an ongoing platform. So in that sense, it's expected, but still, it's very welcome to see just how much content they're pumping out early on. So it's exciting to see what comes next, really. Okay, so where are we? We're in 3rd place, final lap. So looks like we're going to get a podium here. But lots of fun this Skyline, I've got to say. Track looks very nice, so very happy with what I'm seeing so far. Just a shame that the T500 issue exists, and 1 or 2 audio bugs as well. But hopefully that'll be sorted pretty soon. There are other areas which have been updated as well. There is time trial available in the VR mode, which we'll check out in just a moment actually. Once we finish this race, we'll go over to see what that's all about. But anyway, coming around, approaching the last turn at Tsukuba, and I might have a little look here on the inside, a little cheeky look. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong as the car gets sideways. But we're going to finish in 3rd place anyway. So nice fun race, good action there, nice track, Tsukuba, and the R33 very tower happy. Okay, so let's check out the new content regarding the VR mode. Okay, so we're back at Tsukuba, albeit now in the VR tour mode. So this is the newly added time trial feature to the game. Now we are, wow, bit of a slide on there. We are in the 1990 RX-7 GTX, which, let's just have a little look around at the car just to appreciate the visuals that we see here. You can see the lovely seats with the nice pattern, which is beautifully detailed in this game. Really am impressed with VR in Gran Turismo Sports. It's just a shame it's so basic in terms of game modes and what you can actually do, but having said that, you know, it is a welcome feature here, having this time trial mode. Just means you can set as many laps as you want rather than the 2 that you could previously. Okay, so let's get going in the... Oh wow, so that's a bug right there. So it sounds like the horn is going off when I rev first gear. Let's have a look again. Yeah, so that's unusual, isn't it? So there are audio bugs in this 1.15 update, as I mentioned earlier. So, oh dear, it's going to do it in every gear, is it? I think. Oh, that's a real shame. I'm not sure if it's just this car that's doing it, or will it do it on all cars. It might be worth testing. But we are here at I think it's 6 o'clock in the evening time, so it is you know, low light conditions. It does look pretty stunning. You know, very realistic cloud cover. In terms of physics, it's probably one of the better VR experiences. You don't lose too much of the physics and the handling of the car. It still translates pretty well. You know, you do still lose some of that detail in the, you know, translation. It's just lost in the translation into VR, but I've got to say it's pretty decent overall. It really does, yeah, make me excited for the future of Gran Turismo. You know, you can imagine next generation PlayStation 5 VR2 headsets, and maybe, you know, the whole game might even be playable in VR. Who knows? It just depends on how powerful that console is, and it's going to need to have an awful lot of teraflops to pump out enough power for a genre as well, at least. So, you know, it's I'll keep my fingers crossed for some major teraflops. So yeah, again, you know, it's obviously resolution takes a hit when you're in VR, understandably. But having said that, I've got to say it really does look very impressive. Of course, there are jaggies everywhere, but considering, I think visually it does look good in GT Sports VR mode. And like I say, it's just like a teaser. We want so much more. You know, I'm very impatient. We're going to have to wait until next generation, until we get really comprehensive VR experiences on the consoles, at least. We're going to actually test the Skyline just to see if it still has that audio bug. So let's switch cars. Okay, so we're back, this time in the GTR. Now, I do like having a look around in these cars. I have to say, it really is part of the enjoyment of the VR experience. So just have a little quick look around just to see the detail. Okay, let's get going now. Does it still suffer from the same audio bug? It doesn't actually. Okay, that's nice to see. But yeah, it certainly does have its share of issues, this update, which is unusual, really, isn't it? We expect better than that from Polyphony. You know, it's not very often you see an update where they've actually introduced some major bugs, so it is quite unusual. So this time we have noon, so 12 o'clock midday. Nice sunny, bright day, which is captured very well in VR. Just having a little bit of fun here with this Skyline, getting a bit sideways. I have actually switched over to the controller for the VR segment, whereas I was using the T300 before. Really is a nice place to be in VR. Whoa, okay. Yeah, overall very impressive with the updates. You know, lots of nice cars. There's a good mix of cars. If you want to see the full list of cars, do check it out on the website. And of course, there are those 3 new events in the single-player campaign, which it sorely needs, because the single player campaign is pretty sparse, pretty light on content, so it's nice to see that you know, they are growing the campaign. But you know, we have to wait until GT7 really, until we get proper single player campaign, you know, with a proper upgrade system. But it was a surprise when they introduced the single player campaign. You know, doing somewhat of a U-turn on their sort of sport mantra, so it was unexpected, but at the same time it was good to see. But I just feel it doesn't quite live up to the, you know, the campaign's evolved. You don't get a massive amount of events. I think the AI needs some tweaking as well. Sometimes it's too easy, sometimes I find it even too hard. But often, or well, at times you do have some obvious rubber banding as well. So it's you know, it certainly does need some tweaks. But without the traditional upgrade system where you add your turbos and whatnot, and you know, without the huge encyclopedia of cars, it just doesn't have that same magic that the old titles will have. And we just, you know, there's not going to be another Gran Turismo title now on the PS4 one, I would imagine, so I'm just going to have to be patient. I'm just hoping that GT7 has a comprehensive VR package at launch, assuming of course the VR, second generation VR headsets will arrive by then. But anyway, we're going to leave it there for the video. I'm going to enjoy some more laps here at Tsukuba, and we're going to have lots more content coming soon. In fact, there was a recent update for Wipeout, a VR update, so all going well. We'll be checking that out, and we'll be making a video on that shortly, hopefully. But anyway, that's it for now. Let us know what you make of the GT Sport updates in the comments, and as ever, thanks for watching.
Well, how do you like it? Makes me feel